Hi, today's story is called The Girl Who Could Talk with the Bees. A long time ago, there was a little girl who wanted to talk with the bees. She didn't know how to talk with the bees, so she went to her aunt, who was a little witch, a good little witch. And she said, I want to talk with the bees. And the aunt said, are you sure? Bees are boring. He says, I want to talk with the bees. And the little witch aunt said, okay, feed them every day for 3 months. And after 3 months, you will understand what they say. And so she did. For 3 months, she gave the bees something to eat. And after 3 months, she could understand what they said. They said, bzz, 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 honey, 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 bzz, 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 honey, honey, honey. Every day, those little bees were just talking about honey. Bzz, 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 honey, 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 bzz, bzz, bzz. Honey, honey, honey. But one day, those little bees, they said, bzz, 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 it's gonna rain, rain, rain. Bzz, 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 it's gonna rain, rain, rain. Now the little girl quickly went to her father and said, Daddy, Daddy, it's going to rain. And Papa said, oh, blue sky, it's a beautiful day. It's not going to rain. He said, Papa, the bees told me. And so the father went to all the farmers and said, it's going to rain. You better pull out your vegetables. But the farmers said, oh, blue sky, beautiful day. It's not going to rain. But father listened to his daughter. And he pulled out all his vegetables. And that night, there was so much rain. All the farms got flooded. And the vegetables were spoiled. Then the little girl wanted to learn how to talk with the birds. So she went to her little aunt and said, I want to talk with the birds. And she said, oh, it's so easy. For 3 months, feed them every day and you will understand what they say. And yes, for 3 months, she gave all the birds nice things to eat. And after 3 months, she could understand what they say. They only said, beep, 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 I'm here. Beep, 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 I'm here. Beep, 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 I'm here. But one day, those little birds, they didn't say, beep, 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 I'm here. They said, beep, 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 beep. It's going to blow, blow, blow. The wind is going to blow, blow, blow. The wind is going to blow, blow, blow. And the little girl quickly went to her daddy and he said, Daddy, the wind is going to blow. Better pick your apples. And father said, but my daughter, blue sky, it's a beautiful day. He said, well, the birds told me. And the farmer quickly went to all the other farmers and said, pick your apples. The wind is going to blow, blow, blow. But the farmer said, oh, blue sky, it's a beautiful day. There's not going to be any wind. But that night, the wind blew and blew and blew and all the apples fell on the floor and they were spoiled. Only her father had picked his apples. And the farmer said, how does she know there's going to be a wind in this beautiful blue sky? Is she a witch? The little girl, she wanted to learn how to talk with the moles. She didn't go to her aunt. She now knew. For 3 months, she gave them food to eat. And after 3 months, she could understand what they said. They always say, dig, dig, dig. I want to dig, dig, dig. Dig, dig, dig. I want to dig, dig, dig. Oh, it was so boring. But after some time, she heard the mole say, Dig, 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 it's going to freeze, freeze, freeze. Dig, 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 it's going to freeze, freeze, freeze. And the little girl quickly went to her daddy and he said, Daddy, it's going to be cold, it's going to freeze. And Daddy said, blue sky, beautiful day, it's not going to freeze. Daddy, the moles told me. And the farmer quickly went to all the other farmers and said, guys, pull out your carrots, it's going to freeze. Nobody listened. They said, blue sky, beautiful day. But the father listened and he pulled out all his carrots. And that night, it was freezing and freezing. It was so cold. The next day, all the farmers saw their carrots, their potatoes were spoiled. And they said, this little girl is a witch. This little girl is a witch. She has to die. Those days it was like that. And they got a rope and they tied her up and they got so much wood and they wanted to put fire. And the little girl was crying, help me, who can help me? And she was thinking, who can? And then she thought of the birds and she said, beep, 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 help me, beep, 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 help me, help me. And there came so many little birds and they were all flying and flying. It says, beep, 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 pick up the wood, pick up the wood. And they took away all the wood. And this little girl could go home and she was so happy. But who was not happy? Yes, those farmers. This time they called the soldier. And they said, soldier, you have to go and cut off her head. She is a little witch. The soldier grabbed her, took out his sword. And the little girl was saying, oh no, who can help me? Who can help me? Then she thought about the bees. And he says, bzz, bzz, bzz. Help me, help me, help me. Bzz, bzz, bzz. Help me, help me, help me. And so many bees came and they chased away the soldier. And the little girl could go home to her father. And she was so happy. But who was not happy? Yes, those farmers. And this time they called the king. And the king locked the little girl up in the palace jail. Deep down under the palace. It was so dark. And she was crying. She said, who can help me? The birds cannot help me. The bees cannot help me. The moles. And so she called, dig, dig, dig. Help me, help me, help me. Dig, dig, dig. Help me, help me, help me. And there came those cute little moles. And they dug a beautiful tunnel out of the jail into the palace garden. And little girl, she was free. And as she was walking through the garden, there she saw a handsome prince. And when that prince saw the beautiful girl, and he said, I want to marry you. Well, she said, sorry, I don't want to marry you. And he said, why? What's wrong? I'm a prince. He says, you people only want to do bad things to me. I'm going away. And so she went away to the forest, and there she stayed with all the animals. And every day she talked with the animals, and the animals talked with her. And every day she helped the animals. And then she was so happy. Now, who was not happy? The prince. He really loved her. He didn't understand her, but he wanted to be with her. So he said, okay, I will go to the forest with her. And so he stayed with the little girl, and they took care of all the animals, and they lived happily ever after. The end.